Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 967, we're going to talk about the Mole God. Anzrag the Quake Mole. Now, this thing had my attention from day one. It really did. So for 4 mana, we get an 8/4, which, I would play that as it was. But whenever Anzrag becomes blocked, untap each creature you control. After this combat, there is an additional combat phase. So, Anzrag needs to be blocked. And then for the low price of 7 mana, you can make him must be blocked each combat this turn if able. So, I had some ideas. My first idea was, a 3 mana lure is way better than the 7 mana. So, the problem is Anzrag is a little fragile at a 4 toughness. So the first things I did was unnatural growth, double the power and toughness of each target creature you control at the beginning of each combat. So as soon as Anzrag goes to swing, he becomes a 16/8, much less fragile in combat. And then if he's blocked, as you should block a 16 power commander, once you go to the next combat, he untaps and go to the next combat, it's 32, and it's silly. But then we also have our good buddy Xenagos, the god of revels. One god helps out another. It's a Gruul thing. But it gets +X+X, where X is that creature's power, so it'll get +8/+8. So, yeah. And, of course, I have some other goodies ribboned in through here. But let's start with our ramp, shall we? Have our good old-fashioned Soul Ring. Now, the idea is because some of these cards are pretty expensive, and I want tons of mana. Not that Anzrag 4 mana. I've played the deck 3 or 4 times. I have never, ever paid the 7 to make him blockable, or have to be blocked. Bird of Paradise, Arcane Signet, Rampant Growth, Llanowar Elf, Rolling Regrowth. I'm going through these pretty quick because this is just our ramp section, right? Kodama's Reach, Commander Sphere, Cultivate, Harrow, Secure Tribe Elder, Sky Shroud Claimant. Our last one I want to talk about, Tempt with Discovery. Now, Tempt with Discovery is a very tricky card to play. Because we all know, everybody knows, you're never, ever supposed to be tempted. Never take the deal. But there are times a well-timed Tempt with Discovery can be beneficial to the caster. I have noticed that it is the person after the caster in turn order, because you go in turn order, and if the first person takes it, everybody after that person is more likely to take it. It's just something I've noticed about just the way we play. But if that first person says no, there's a good chance it's going to get around the whole table, and you're not going to get but 1 land. Anyway, and of course you can make a deal with that first player. It's like, hey, I'm going to need you to do a thing. So anyway, got a little bit of card draw, not a lot. The Soul of Harvest, Shamanic Revelation, our buddy Harmonize, and the Rishkar's Expertise. Now, I want to talk about other things here, right? We are doing extra combat things. So I went ahead and put in the Relentless Assault and the Aggravated Assault. Now, the beautiful thing with Aggravated Assault, I did it. It costs 5 mana to get another combat followed by another main. Well, if you can keep Savage Ventmaw attacking, it generates 6 mana on the attack trigger. So, as long as the enchantment or the dragon doesn't die, you have infinite combats. Let's look at our creature enhancement suite, shall we? Yeah, that's right, creature enhancements. Don't laugh. It's regeneration, I'm telling you. For a single green mana, no, it's not dead. It is overlooked. Some of these older cards like this was in the original set of Madden. This one here is revised, of course, but this is from the beginning of the game. So, yeah, it's really good. Now, Venom. At end of combat, destroy all non-wall creatures blocking or blocked by target creature. So, you gotta block it, and if you got the lure and Venom both, you gotta block it with everything, and then everything dies. And then you see where it's going. Of course, Fervor, because I want to give it the old Tramp, or the old Haste. Rising of the Day, a duplicate copy, of course. Overrun. I encourage you, wait to give it Trample until... I did have the highest I ever had, the mole got up to was 2.3 million. It was well past calculator time at that point. But we want to make, stuff like Death Touch. Attacking creatures you control have Death Touch with the Bow of Nylea. Really, really good, because the way Death Touch and Trample works is ludicrous. Bear Umbra, Rancor, Black Blade Reforged, and I really like Inara. As long as it's your turn, your commanders have Indestructible. All right, cool. And then, I'm silly. We all know that I'm just a Timmy. So, Colossification. Yeah. Now, have some other random stuff. Nothing I can say but Total Defense of the Heart. It can go in and get 2 creatures. That's a good time to actually get to the other creatures. What creatures are we getting? Well, since I got the lure, and y'all know I'm an old guy, I had to get Cockatrice. Thicket Ballast. Guess you know what's next, huh? You put the lure on the Thicket Basilisk, and you attack. They all have to block it. Everything dies, because the Thicket Basilisk is not Death Touch. It's what I like to call Super Death Touch. He don't have to deal the damage. Just declaring a blocker will kill your creature. So Thicket Basilisk. And then in the same set, they were trying to show the difference between an uncommon and a rare for the same cost. Same card, this has flying for the Cockatrice. We have Goreclaw. Of course, it's going to make our commander pretty much everything else cheaper. Now, I cast Hamlet back Goliath one game, and nobody at the table knew what it was, and I read it off to them, and it was a medium-sized game. It was probably 6 people, and by the time it got back to my turn, this was a 90 power. Yeah, that's because one of my opponents had the displaced dinosaur thing going on. Yeah, silly. Now, Naeth here, whenever one or more creatures you control fight or become blocked, draw cards. So there's some card draw. The Bloodthirster. Yeah, because I wanted all the things that messed with extra combats, right? Extra combats. How about General Marhault Elsdragon? A creature control becomes blocked. It gets +3/+3 until end of turn for each creature blocking it. So, yeah. Now, years later in Mirage, they made a big Rock Basilisk, a 4/5. Of course, we have our Hellkite Charger. Yeah, another multi-combat step. Vengeful Ancestor. When it enters or attacks, goad, so it's probably going to attack a lot, right? Defiler of Vigor, doing all the Defiler of Vigor things. Now, Italy has gotten so ubiquitous, I'm almost hesitant on playing it anymore, because y'all know we play a lot of big games. An 8-player game is nothing. we do that. We'll do that several times tonight or more. And Atali can get really, really over the top. But it is an attack trigger, so I kind of had to do it. Ewit, of course, Recursion, and Verdant Force, because I don't know why. I remember putting this in the deck as a placeholder for something, but I cannot remember what. Since I've played it a couple times, I've drawn it. I've played it once. It worked out great to just make chump blockers. I don't know. Before we get to our removal, we got Mob Rule, because sometimes you just got to have all the things. Fiery Emancipation. Yeah. When your commander's getting real big and doing lots of combats, triple damage, my friend. And in the Web of War, of course. Now let's look at our removal suite, shall we? That is an Acidic Slime. Of course, I really like it because it does have Death Touch. It, combats, blah, blah, blah. Wait a minute. Am I cheating? Because I thought I just saw... Oh, that's Eternal Witness. Oh, okay. Whew. Eternal Witness is what it was. Cool, not cheating. The card I was thinking of was Reclamation Sage. Of course, we have Beast Within, Blasphemous Act, Return to Nature. Artifact Mutation is not bad, especially if you can pop a big artifact. Chaos Warp, and then our big daddy there, Terastodon. And that leads us to our non-basic lands. Now, nothing really special here except for the Kessig Wolf Run. Beautiful card. Especially, trample into a turn. It gets bigger and trample. But the rest of this is, of course, the Command Tower. Restless Ridgeback. Gain Trail. Terramorphic Expanse. Kazandu Refuge. Slagwood Bridge. Rugged Highlands, Myriad Landscape, Cinderglade, Evolving Wilds, and Temple of Abandon. And, of course, our basic lands there. Don't want to forget those. But that is what we have got for today. I do appreciate y'all watching. Thank you so much. And if you have not subscribed and you're 12 and a half minutes into the video, hit that subscribe button for me. Thank you so much, but right now, I think it is time to shuffle and cut.